2020. I am Rikisha St. Louis. Government is moving forward with plans to construct a commercial complex in St. Andrew, which will house all government revenue offices and departments. The Grenville commercial complex will also house small businesses, as office spaces will be available for rent. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing, Infrastructure Development Minister Honorable Gregory Bowen said the intention is to rent various levels so that money spent to construct the building can be recovered after a few years.
It's where we put in the building in Grenville that will house all government's revenue offices and on a particular floor, and we'll be renting at a floor out. There is an anchor tenant already for that floor, so we hope that within 20 years, let us even put 30 years, that we will recover most of the monies from rental and we will get our own use of it. Because if you look at the district revenue offices in St. Andrew and Grenville, it's really in a deplorable state. We could have the Postal Corporation coming in and use something, a statutory body, but in good business, they will pay the normal rent. They have a portion of land that will be utilized, so all of these things will be factored into the rent that they will pay.
Vendors are currently occupying the area that is designated for the complex. According to Minister Bowen, consideration is being given to relocating the small business owners and vendors.
We are looking for a location to put the small businesses. As a matter of fact, should we construct a quick wooden structure to put them in? We were not aware that there were as many as 20. That was not reported, but assuming you're correct, we're certainly looking and working with them to replace them for the time being. Whether or not the compound, will facilitate them after in a beautiful way, yes, that is being looked at in the design. Some of them, though, when you look and discussing with them at the cost, they'll now have to pay a rent, and that may be outside of the financial capacity with the small businesses that they're doing. So a small area must be made for them, and that is given due consideration.
More than 50 jobs are expected to be created during the construction phase. Minister Bowen has confirmed that the tendering process is currently underway. Once completed, the cost and duration of the project will be announced. Continuing the news, 31 Grenadian men left the island via Air Canada flight on Monday to take up employment on the Virgil Thompson farm in Quebec. The opportunity comes as part of the Canada-Caribbean Seasonal Agricultural Program facilitated by the Ministry of Labour. The group consists of first-time workers to the program, as well as those who have been recalled as a result of their excellent work skills and attitude. Labour Minister Honorable Peter David says the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic slowed the process somewhat, but he is happy to see an increase in the number of men who will be employed in Canada.
It has been difficult since COVID, because with the onset of COVID, the Canadians have had to pull back. Remember, the program is dependent on the farmers in Canada coming to Grenada and choosing the workers off of a list that we have at the ministry. There have been some difficulties since COVID, but happily for us and happily for the persons who are engaged in the program, the farmers have restarted the program, and some left today, and I want to wish them well. We met with them, the ministry met with them, and hopefully this program will pick back up the kind of pace it had in the past to provide employment and training to many of our young people.
David Jardin of Guave St. John has been employed in the program for the last 15 years. He says the key to being successful on the farm is to adhere to the rules.
I work at Vegetarian. I pick fruits like apples and so forth. You have some people, sometimes they go to work, the farmer might give them something to do. Whether yes or no, you cannot do it. They never tell them you can't do it. They say you can do something, you go and do it. Ladies, you cannot do it, so then they will show you the right way to do it. And that things I do. See, like most of the time I might be on the farm doing something, and the farmer might come and say, David is not so, and then I just turn over and I do just what he tells me to do.
Joseph Max Edwards of River-Sally St. Mark's said the journey is his third, and he believes that young men should make use of this financially rewarding opportunity.
The program involves betterment for future as a young man, and increase that, if you have a family, increase the betterment to come in more properly for you. Understand? And the opportunity I get, I wish everybody could get it and focus in whatever they come in to do. Make it a progressive thing for them and for the family. The first time I get called, like, I didn't know what I expected, but based on the procedure I go through and the vibes I going through and the knowledge I getting from other people, seems like a very good thing. And I find a lot of young people should take part in it and better their life.
First-timer to the Canada Caribbean Seasonal Agriculture Program, George Dennis, is prepared for the challenge ahead.
This is my first time traveling to Canada on this farm work project, and I heard about it through a friend. He signed me up, which I did not know about. That is ASP Old Dumba. And when he called me and told me, well, look, Dennis, I had signed up for you for a contract. I was like, he said, yeah, you're going on a farm work project in Canada and I want you to give me my best. He said, I know you're a guy you had working and you could give me your best. I say, well, boss, it's only the best is good enough for me, And I go in out there to give them my best shot, make Grenada proud at the end of the day. Have a set of guys with me. I'm going to inspire them because I'm a motivator and I'm going to motivate them. See that we hold the flag Grenada flying high and do what we have to do and do it to the best of our ability.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
The house was shaking. Then started the story here, babe. Crack, and the roof had gone.
Man, I was so scared, I nearly wet myself.
Only those who have lived it can truly understand the devastating fury of a hurricane's wind.
The house across the road just get up and roll over.
Hurricane force wind. It's a hazard. Hazards. Take control. Reduce your loss. You can hurricane-proof your home. For example, make your roof more wind-resistant by using screws instead of nails in its construction. Find out more about hurricane force winds and other hazards at your local disaster office.
A message from the National Disaster Management Agency and SEDERA.
Welcome back. Minister for Transport and Implementation, Honorable Gregory Bowen, says there are plans to conduct a major study on the transportation sector in Grenada and the region. The intention is to determine how public transportation can be sustained during a health and after a disaster.
If you look at those countries with public transportation, what happened? They came out. They had to be there so that at least the public can get transportation. We're not saying the construct should be public, private. It could be a limited amount of public, vehicles plying along so that at least after a pandemic, a health crisis, you can have something. I'm just saying public, but it could be a private person undertaking that as well, but who will not say, or who cannot say in the agreement that I will not operate, who must operate in a pandemic, obviously with the help of the Ministry of Health and the protective equipment so they can function. That study will be undertaken, and also everything, the rates and so forth, all the things that the bus operators are asking for now, and we have told them so, will be considered in that study.
The People's Republic of China extends its generosity to the 15 constituencies with the donation of greenhouses as it continues its efforts towards aiding Grenada in fighting the effects of COVID-19 and climate change. Karima Lewis has more in this report.
1 week after the People's Republic of China donated to the Ministry of Agriculture 2 semi-automated greenhouses, its generosity was extended to 15 farmers from the different constituencies throughout the island, as the government of Grenada, through the Ministry of Agriculture, encourages protective agriculture technology in farming, considering the effects of climate change. The farmers were on hand to receive the greenhouses at a short ceremony at the Youth Center last Friday. Together with the Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Yolande Bean Hosford, present for the handover were Minister for Youth, Honorable Keith Lewis, Minister for Social Development and Housing, Honorable Delma Thomas, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Peter David, and Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Tobias Clement. Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China, Dr. Zhao Yangshan, says that this assistance aids in government's efforts to modernize agriculture.
As we all know, agriculture is one of the pillar industry of Grenada. The sustainable development of agriculture related to the economic recovery, food security, and farmers' livelihood. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Dr. Right Honor Keith Mitchell, the Grenadian government has adopted a stimulus package to reopen the economic and revitalize agriculture production. This donation of the 15 college houses donated by our embassy this time covers every constituency of Grenada and goes in line with Grenadian government's reform to modernize agriculture sector, enhance climate resilience, and improve farmers' livelihood.
Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Yolande Bean Hosford, says that this donation fits in well with efforts that are being made by the ministry in curbing the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gifts being handed over today fits nicely with the ministry's plan of increasing the use of protective agriculture structures for food production. It is therefore incredibly fortuitous that these gifts are being given to us at this time as we deal with the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on our food and nutrition security. The ministry has ensured that the beneficiaries of these greenhouses were selected based on objective and just criteria, ensuring that they will be used effectively. Friends, this government is always looking at ways of meeting the needs and addressing the challenges of the agriculture community as it contributes so significantly to the socio-economic well-being of this country. Our key strategy in the effort to overcome the challenges that face the sector is that of collaboration and partnership. The People's Republic of China has been collaborating and partnering with us in many of our interventions, thus making the task a little bit easier.
One farmer, Darrell David, expresses his gratitude for the donation of the greenhouses.
As a former student of the Men Empower program, I was given the opportunity to start a small business with seedlings hatchery, in which I am ever so grateful. Thus, I extend special thanks to Minister Honorable Yolande Bean Hosford for selecting me from our constituency to receive the greenhouse. I am indeed overly grateful. We assure you that not only ourselves, but others in the constituency will benefit from the greenhouse. Again, we express great thanks.
For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Karima Lewis.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, September 1st, 2020. Let's recap the top story. Commercial complex to be constructed in St. Andrew. On behalf of the entire news team and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.